Hello, so here is my new Smith & Wesson CSX 9mm handgun. I just got it this week, and I just figured I'd do a quick review of it and show some of the features and some of the results from my time at the range this morning. So this is a micro-compact 9mm hammer-fired pistol that Smith & Wesson came out with last year. It is a little bit different from some of the other ones in this category because this one is actually an aluminum frame instead of polymer. It does have a polymer insert on the back of the grip and also a little bit on the front right here, but most of the frame is actually an aluminum alloy that makes it very sturdy but still very lightweight. I believe this comes in around 19 ounces, which is very comparable to a lot of other polymer framed guns in that range. But it definitely feels really good in the hand. I like the grip on it. Some people have said they don't like having the smooth aluminum here, but honestly, with the large back strap and a little bit of grip on the front, it does actually grip very well. I have not had any issues with slipping. A couple of things about it. This does come with two magazines. The 10-round magazine is the smaller one, and you can see it is very, very small. My previous carry gun was a Taurus PT-111 G2, and this comes in at about half an inch shorter top to bottom, even though it holds about the same number of rounds. So this is the 10-round magazine. It also does have a 12-round magazine that is just slightly longer, not much longer, less than a quarter of an inch difference, but holds 2 extra rounds. This one also gives room for your pinky to have a little bit of grip on there, whereas the 10-round magazine basically leaves your pinky hanging. I can kind of put my pinky on it a little bit, but not very much. Even with the 10 round though, I have not had any problem keeping grip on it while shooting. As I mentioned, this is a hammer fired gun. It does have nice slide serrations. It also has these easy tabs on the back of the slide to aid in racking. It is single action only, and the trigger is one of the, I guess, more controversial parts of this gun. It does have a pretty flat trigger with a little bit of a trigger safety, just a very small one there. Once you engage that trigger safety, there's a tiny, maybe a 1/16 of an inch of take up there, and then the trigger breaks. Now, it is a very short trigger. The break is nice and crisp, but it is a little on the heavy side. Before I get to measuring the trigger weight, let me show you the reset. Some people have complained about a false reset on this. As I let it out, it goes to right there. You heard a little click, and then it resets and fires no problem. It is a pretty short reset. I have not had any issues with false reset. I don't know if that's something that Smith & Wesson has worked out since they made the first run of these. I just bought mine in February 2023, and the one that I saw on display in the store did not have any kind of false reset, and neither does this one. So that may be something that they've worked out, or it may just vary from one gun to the next. It also does have the slide stop, which is ambidextrous. It is a little tough to engage. Actually, that one's a lot better than some of the other times that I've tried it. It's not the easiest to manipulate with your thumb, but I don't usually use that much anyway. Again, that is a slide stop. It's not really meant to be a slide release. It can be used that way, but I typically just release by racking the slide. The safety is also ambidextrous, and it's very easy to use. I don't have any problems with that. Some people like having a larger safety lever they can rest their thumb on more. This one is a little small, but again, this is meant to be a micro compact carry gun. I don't really see that as being a big issue. Also, one of the neat features about this is that with the safety engage, you can rack the slide and eject your last round if you want while the safety is engaged, just as an extra precaution. The magazine release is also, or can be ambidextrous. It comes with it on the left side for right-handed shooters. It can be switched around. There is a second magazine release button in the box when you buy it that can be installed on this side. This is one thing that I think is a little bit difficult to use on this pistol. With a normal grip, the button doesn't stick out very much. It is a little awkward to push, and so I have to kind of really get my hand around it and give it a good push to release it. Once I do, it releases and drops out just fine. But from a normal grip position, it is a little bit difficult to push, and if I have my hand in that position, you can see my hand actually kind of blocks the magazine a little bit, keeps it from dropping out, unless I kind of release my grip and allow it to drop freely. So far, this gun shoots very, very well. I've taken it to the range twice. I've put about 300 rounds through it. Have not had any malfunctions. It has fired every time. It has fed the next round every time. The slide has locked back on the last round every time. There have been absolutely no issues. The sights, you can see it has the typical 3-dot sights. They are not the greatest sights. They do work. They're very visible in daylight, but they are not the best sights. I know a lot of people prefer fiber optic or tritium or other variations, but these definitely do work, and from the factory they are very accurate. At least mine are. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and test the trigger weight. This is another thing that some people have had issues with and said that their triggers were very heavy. Mine, when I first got this, was breaking at about 5 3/4 pounds. I believe it has lightened up some, so I'm going to go ahead and test it here. So that one broke at almost 6 pounds. Let me try that again. That seemed a little heavy, heavier than usual. Again, about 6 pounds. That one was about 5.5 pounds. And that one came in at just over 5 pounds. So it really depends a lot on, I think, if you're pulling from more in the middle of the trigger, up at the top of that trigger safety, or if you're pulling from down toward the bottom. If you pull from down toward the bottom, kind of rest your finger down at the bottom of the trigger, it does seem to be a little bit lighter. Again, it is not a super light trigger. This is not a competition trigger or anything like that. It is a self-defense gun, so I think it's very reasonable for that, but it could be a little bit lighter and smoother. Overall, I think this gun is very nice. I really like the feel of it in my hand. It has a very low bore axis, so even though it is very light, and even with not having my pinky on there with just that 10-round magazine, the recoil is very very low compared to a lot of other guns similar to it. It kicks back into your hand very smoothly without a lot of extra muzzle flip. And I think you'll see that in the videos that I'm going to attach after this. So in the videos, the first one will show a 10-round group fired from about 10 yards. It's not my best group. I don't claim to be an amazing shot or anything, but it was okay. I wasn't firing super slow and steady, but also not super fast. The second group is also from about 10 yards, and managed to keep a much tighter group on that one. And then the third group that I'll show, I don't have a video of me shooting that one, but I'll show the result of it. It's even a little bit better, and that was from 7 yards. So there you go. That is the Smith & Wesson CSX 9mm hammer-fired single-action aluminum frame pistol. A couple other things. It does have a smaller back strap, much like the Shield or the M&P series. If you wanted to replace the back strap with a little bit thinner version, you can do that by popping it out right in here. There's a little tool that comes in the box. Also, I'm not going to go ahead and disassemble it on here right now, but disassembly on this is a little bit different. You actually hold the slide back just a little bit to where this notch, this little semicircle notch, aligns right above the takedown lever here, or the slide release lever. And as you hold that back, you take a punch or something. I use the small Allen wrench and push on this pin, and when you push there with that held back, it will pop this whole slide stop lever off. You pull that out from this side, and then you can just pull the slide off from the front. And then, of course, assembling it is just the reverse. You put the slide back on, you hold this in the right place, slide that back in from the left side until it clicks all the way through to the right side.